How you doing, everyone? It's Jamie Jewett here with OUTBX. I'm here with Wow Hydrate, just about to follow none other than the Tartan Tornado, Josh Taylor. And I'm going to see what it takes for a guy like him to get ready for a fight against Teofimo Lopez. Josh, how are you, big man?
Nice to see you.
Good to meet you, buddy.
Yeah,
Good to
nice
meet you.
So,
I mean, there you go, repping. So, mate, I'm here to follow you around and watch a little bit of what you do in the gym. What's the schedule today? What's the day like?
We're coming in today. I've had a couple of hard days. Monday and Tuesday doing sparring. So today is a little bit more of a technical session.
Right.
So coach says, but it probably will turn into a bit of graft, a bit of this kind of stuff as well. The jump in the bar and all that. So
nice.
We'll see how it goes. So hopefully it's a little bit easier today, but I'm not holding my breath.
And I have to say, 10th of June, Teofimo Lopez, New York. That's a massive fight. I'm absolutely buzzing as a fan to watch that fight. Knowing that that's coming up, I'm sure a lot of the guys training around here, they're excited for you. Do you get a lot of people asking you about it, talking about it? Like, what does it feel like in the lead up to a big fight like that?
Yeah, we're all buzzing, you know, the guys in the gym, you know, everybody knows the magnitude of this fight. It's a huge fight worldwide, both this side of the pond and over there. So it's got everybody talking, it's got everybody buzzing, and you know, I'm real excited for getting back to my old self and my old sort of form that I had, you know, just destroying everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Tartan Tornado.
A Tartan Tornado, blowing people away. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this fight. I've got the real bit between my teeth, and I'm up every morning nice and early into the gym, and just like a little school kid excited to get to the gym and learning my craft. So
wicked.
Yeah, I'm dead excited for it, and all the lads in the gym are buzzing for it as well.
Well, listen, it's a UK. Yeah, lovely. It's US versus UK. It's always going to be massive for all of us supporting you over there. We'll talk more about that later. First off, I guess I'm going to see what you do, and we'll get cracking.
Nice. Cheers. Doing a little bit of technical / graft work today, so we're doing a little bit of pad work, a little bit of shadow boxing, a little bit of the circuit work here as well. After that, we're going back home, get my lunch, a little bit of rest, fuel up, get some of the electrolytes back into me, Wow Hydrate, and back into the gym later on tonight for a little bit of running and stuff. So yeah, it's all systems go.
You said earlier you're going to do a light session today.
Yeah.
Was that a light session?
Well, I did say to you that it could possibly turn into a bit of a monster of a session, and it ended up doing that way. So.
I was going to say, because when I came in here I was thinking there's no chance. That was like, if you'd have turned around and went, that's a light session, I feel for you for the hard sessions.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be more of a technical sort of tactical session, but it's ended up turned into a bit of both, and then into graft, and then 10 rounds of good work, and then into a circuit, and then stretching and all that. So yeah, it was a nice long session today.
You've had a bit of lunch. It's what, 3 o'clock? You're back in the gym when?
Back in at 5:30.
5:30. And how many days a week are you doing this?
I'm doing this. I'll do that 5 days a week, and then I'll do something once on a Saturday, just a little sort of a swim or a jog or something. Just a little active recovery sort of session on a Saturday as well.
And with your training camp, does it sort of ebb and flow in the intensity? Are you in like an intense stage of your camp? Or is it like this for most of it and then a tapering at the end?
No, we're at a stage now where it's like we've got 4 weeks left on Saturday. So from last week through to about 2 weeks to go, we'll really pick up the intensity and get to like peak performance. Then when we get to New York, it'll be a week of just sort of tapering down a little bit, bring the intensity and then in the longer sessions down. So it'll be more sort of shorter, sharper sessions, nice and fast, quick and sharp sessions. And then the week of fight week, it'll be like sort of next to nothing, just sort of managing weight, doing a little bit of a shakeout, doing a little bit of a sort of stretching off sessions and things like that, and then making the weight. So this next 3-4 weeks is the most, let's say, the business end of training camp. So this is where we get into. This is where we be getting into the peak conditions. So the last 3-4 weeks are the hardest. Like, so this is the hardest phase of camp.
You're doing these sorts of intense training sessions, and I'm assuming you're doing them on fairly low food. Is that how you get your weight down?
I'm eating about 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. But all good food, obviously, come down here at the weekend, during the week as well. Get good food here in this cafe as well, but it's all calorie counted. Do my macros and calorie counted. So at this point in time, it's not cutting back. It's putting enough fuel in, so I've got the energy for the training sessions.
Gotcha.
And drinking, keeping well hydrated and nice and lubricated. You know, because earlier on in camp, wasn't drinking enough. Wasn't getting enough of the electrolytes and stuff in me, so I found myself when I was stretching off at the end of the sessions, I was cramping seizing up and cramping. So putting this stuff in is more important, just as important than doing the training. So it's putting the right fuel in as well for to give you the energy.
So can we touch on a little bit then? You've split with Ben Davidson, and you've come up to Liverpool to train up here. So I'm getting from you that was sort of a tactical decision to change your style of fighting back to what it was before: aggressive come forwards, intellectual pressure, that kind of stuff. Is that what that switch was about? Yeah,
kind of. Just in the mentality kind of side of it as well. You know, I just felt that in the end it wasn't really working for my kind of my style and what I was looking for to get out of the coach, and what I felt I was being sort of taken away from what my main attributes were and what makes me me, what makes me the undisputed champion. I felt I was getting kind of steered a little bit of a different way, and I thought it wasn't really working for me out in the end. But there was no animosity between us. So we come to a very amicable split, and I still speak to Ben on the regular and still keep in touch and have a good laugh. I like Ben, he's a really good guy and a really good coach as well. It's just in the end it wasn't working for me. So I've got to do I do what's best for myself. You know, I'm the one that's in there at the end of the day taking the punches, so I've got to do what was best for myself. And Ben understood that, and we come to an agreement, and shook hands and said, I'll see you soon, and never you know, said, we don't rule out working together again in the future, you know, because we worked well, and he helped, let's not forget, he helped me achieve and create history and become an undisputed world champion. So it wasn't all bad, you know. It was just I felt like it wasn't working for me anymore. That's all. Cool. So we had a good agreement and a good chat, and decided to go my own way. So yeah.
Ben Davidson is an amazing coach. Obviously, he's proven that, and like you say, and you know, boxing, it's a one-man sport, but it is a team sport at the end of the day, and sometimes you can switch up tactics and there's no animosity. I can completely understand that from yourself. Just to touch on that a little bit, do you think, talking about your previous fight, there was a tactical sort of mishap there, do you think? Like, what do you put your previous fight,
a little bit,
that you experienced down to?
But for me, I mean, given what I achieved in 18 fights, you know, nobody's ever done that. I think the only person to ever become an undisputed world champion in less than 20 fights is Alexander Usyk. You know, that's the caliber of opponents and the level that I'm at. You know, I'm up there with the best, and nobody's ever done what I've done in the UK. I'm the only person to do it in the UK. And after that fight, you know, it was like I was on top of Mount Everest, and it was like, I am the man, and you know, and a bit of complacency started creeping in. You know, and I was like, right, okay, like, I sort of underestimated the last opponent, which is the worst mistake anyone can ever do. And I've tried to learn from fighters in the past making that mistake. But you're only human, and you do make these mistakes, and when you've had the success and the achievements what I've achieved, it did creep in a little bit. So I found that was the mistake that I made, and I ended up not preparing as well. You know, I wasn't being fully on it with my diet. I was sort of cheating. I was sort of half-arsed doing the training and not bringing good sparring partners in, and just never prepared well. And that's a mistake that I made and a lesson that I've learned. So I know I'll not be doing that again.
Just to touch on again, one more thing about your last fight. Boxing fans, famously unbelievably fickle. after that fight, how did you find the response to it? How did you find dealing with? I know there was a lot of flack, undeservedly.
Yeah.
It wasn't your choice. It was nothing you did. You went in there, you boxed, you won the fight, got the decision. But you know, obviously took some stick on social media. And how did you find the experience after that? And how did you deal with it?
It wasn't pleasurable. That's for sure. It wasn't nice. You know, it was. I'm not too fussed about it. I can take it. I'm thick-skinned. I can take it, and I'm the kind of guy who'll fight fire with fire, and that's what I end up doing. That's what I end up doing. So I thought, you want to mess with me, I'll mess you back. I'll just say stuff to you, say stuff back to you. Like, you want to say some horrible stuff to me, I can say horrible stuff back. Fight fire with fire.
Fighter, innit?
Yeah, so like I'm very thick-skinned, so that didn't really bother me. Yeah, but it was all social media. It wasn't really much in person. It was all on social media.
That's today, though.
Yeah, it was all social media. So I'm getting like threats, and it was more my wife. It was my wife and my little sister that started getting threats of violence, and people posting their places of work and where they are working and stuff like that. I'm coming here and I'm going to see you and do this to you, do that to you, and threats of like violence towards them and acid attacks and all that, and everyone getting threatened to me or to them, sort of thing. So that had an effect on my wife and my little sister. And for me as well, any man, you threaten any man's family, you're going to defend it, and you're going to go on the warpath.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just like, well, all right, okay, if you're going to get that way, then it's a different ball game, then, you know. So,
and I think the problem is with social media, people don't really realise what's going on behind closed doors. And if you were dealing with that kind of thing, no one's experienced that, and I'd say everybody would probably act in the same way. So let's look forward. You got the Teofimo fight coming up, massive fight, hostile territory, Madison Square Garden, huge. I mean, landmark arena, especially for boxing. How's it feel going into that fight? How are you feeling going into that fight? I know your training camp's going well, new team. Are you excited for it?
I'm dead excited for this, man. Even just you mentioning it, going to Madison Square Garden, the Lion's Den, into the hostile. I don't think it will be a hostile environment. I don't think it will be. I think it will be an amazing venue, an amazing atmosphere. Not to forget, in New York, there's a lot of expats over there. There's a big Scottish and Irish contingency over in New York, so I think I'll have a good support over there, going over there. And the way Teo said a few things in the lead up to the fight about sort of killing people and things like that, I don't think that'll play in his favour, but I'm looking forward to it. And I just think these are the fights that get the fire in my belly and keep me excited and keep me wanting to do this game. You know, with what I've achieved and the level I'm at in the sport, I need this now. I need these kind of fights that give me the butterflies and the excitement and the belly to keep the motivation going. So this has got in abundance. You know, he's sort of called me out for a couple of years. And now he's got it, and we're going to have a big fight, and it's a huge fight internationally, worldwide. It's a big fight, so yeah, I'm dead excited for it.
Mate, you've got a lot coming up, and not only in the future of the boxing, but obviously today you've still got a lot to do. So I'm going to leave it there with you. Thanks for letting us hang out with you today and having lunch with you and asking you these questions. Go and have yourself a nap, and I might see you back in the gym. Cheers.